today's tutorial, we're going to be working on the VRIF weapon scene. This is for a virtual reality based project. I'm using Unity 6000.3.11 F1 and the VRIF framework by Bearded Ninja Games. Essentially what I'm going to be doing today is just setting up a custom pistol and the grips for it. So I'm trying to keep this fairly concise. So I'm going to search for sci-fi. It's the package I recently picked up off the Unity Asset Store. It's basically just some really simple sci-fi guns. So we've got this here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take pistol 220. I already know where that one is. I'm going to copy its world transform and we'll copy it over here. And now they're basically sitting right on top of each other. One really important thing to note is that I actually made some modifications to this asset. They're very slight though. So if we go here to the model, I applied a scale factor of 0.3. I'm actually going to crank that up ever so slightly. We'll go to 0.35. You know what? We'll keep it at 0.3 actually. And basically that just makes it a bit smaller. One thing I've noticed, especially with VR games, is if you start messing around with the scale in the Unity editor, it can cause problems in certain cases. It's generally not a big issue, but just to play it safe, best to scale it the way I was showing you a moment ago. Now there's some really basic setup that I want to do on this pistol. We're going to start by giving it a rigid body. So I'm copying the one off our pistol 220 here. Paste that component as new. What was set up for that one basically works, so we don't need to overanalyze it. I'm going to copy this grabbable script. There's one really important thing to keep in mind though. These grab points are going to need to be adjusted. Obviously they are referencing pistol 220's grab points. That's all the way over here in the scene, so it's offset in a pretty big way. We have to adjust that, otherwise we're going to run into problems. Last thing, I'm actually going to add a box collider to this. Let's do a preview of that. Let's see how the box collider looks. Roughly matches the size of the model, so that's pretty darn good in my view. I don't think we need any tweaks there. Okay, as I mentioned a moment ago, we are going to have to adjust these grip transforms. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our grip transform right. Grip transform right from the pistol 220. We're going to copy it. I'll double click on the sci-fi gun here. And we're going to do paste special, but we're going to do paste as child, keep local transform. If I did world transform, it'd be way over there by the other gun. So that gives us a rough approximation of where the pistol is. This next step is a pretty good thing to do because we're starting out. VRIF comes with a whole bunch of predefined hand poses. Since this is a pistol, we may as well use the pistol hand pose. That's going to give us a really strong starting point. Now, next thing we're going to do, we're going to hit the... Oh, you know what? Let's check something really quick here. See, I made a mistake. I forgot to update my grip transform. Got overexcited. So let's delete these out. Let's do a new grip transform. We're going to reference our grip transform right. You might ask why I'm only doing the right hand side. That's because we're going to use a special piece of this package in order to just mirror the right transform. I find it works quite well, so we'll do that. We can actually get that set up now. So we have valid hands here. We're going to make the left hand valid, and we're going to do invert left hand, and that's going to give us a pretty good starting point for having the left hand. Okay, so I hit that edit pose button. That does quite a bit of stuff. So let's just pause right here and take a look at some things. So right hand models editor preview. This just got added in. So we have this destroy if in play mode. So while we're editing our poses with our hand, we need to make sure we don't go into play mode. Otherwise, all of our work's going to get destroyed. Since this is the parent object, all of this stuff beneath it will get destroyed if we go into play mode. So that's going to be a bit of a problem. So our first issue is obviously that the hand is just really far offset from the pistol. So what we want to do, we want to use our grip transform right, and we want to edit its transform so that it's kind of roughly approximately where we need it. I'll go around to the other side, see how it looks. We've got a bit of clipping, and this finger here is going to be a problem because we can see it's intersecting with part of the pistol's mesh, but it doesn't look all that bad. It's really not terrible. Not too bad. Okay, so there's basically one problem that we need to solve here. That's related to that, how it clips through the mesh. So what we're going to do is go to the skeleton visualizer here, and we're going to click show gizmos. Now that's unfortunate because it didn't do anything. So the problem is my gizmos are disabled. I'm going to click this to toggle visibility of all gizmos. Now we can see it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to say is very, very important, and keep this in mind, otherwise it'll cause some issues. Also, if you're wondering how I'm moving around here, you hold the right mouse button and then use WASD, and that allows you, or you can use your scroll wheel for a little bit finer adjustment. Okay, the really important thing, do not edit the positions of any of these transforms. They will not get saved. It could cause problems, and it generally ends up looking kind of weird as well. So what we're going to do is actually, let's modify our ring finger here. You'll get a feel for this by just playing around with it, but I can tell, you know, it's kind of an issue at the x-axis. I think I'm modifying the wrong node. Let's start, you know what, let's actually start a little bit higher. Start with our middle finger. Bring that one up a bit. There we go. Let's go like that. Okay. Now I'm going to modify the z-axis because you can see that finger is sticking out quite a bit. We want it grabbing the shaft of the pistol. Okay, so from this side now, you can see that there's a bit of really weird rotation there. Let's see if we can normalize that a little bit. And just play around with it to get a feel for it, but that's pretty close there to what I'm wanting anyways. One thing that's odd, the trigger is not rendering on this pistol. I wonder why. Alright, so I figured out why we have an issue with our trigger. If I double click it, it ended up here at the top of the model for some reason. We're going to go ahead and bring it down and move it roughly into position. I think I'm going to actually like it the way it was. Like it with 0, and I'll probably move up that pointer finger just a little bit so that it's covering the trigger. Looks like a little bit of a stronger grip on it. There we go. That should do the trick. Yeah, that looks okay. We could do this one, just playing around here. So that's the z-axis. Oh, is it? There we go. Yeah, do something like that. And out just a little bit. Okay, there we go. And it looks like we have a pretty good grip on this. Now, a couple things to be really careful with. don't want to hit the grip transform right. What we actually want to do is save our pose first. And we're going to save this as sci-fi gun 09. Kind of matches up with the mesh's name or the prefab's name. Now when I go, so you see that's the problem, right? When I clicked on this grip transform right, it went right back to the pistol grip, which isn't bad, but we want sci-fi 09. Oh, sci-fi gun 09. There we go, and that tightens things up a little bit, gets rid of that little bit of clipping that we had. Now that I'm looking at this too, probably, that looks a little bit awkward, so do something like that. There we go. Move that like that, just so it looks a little bit more natural. And we've saved that asset. We have placed it on the grip transform right. Oh, we didn't save it. That's the issue. Okay. So we'll redo this again because I forgot to save it. Let's do a little bit, getting things a little bit tighter there. And we're going to save the pose. We're just going to save over the old one because this is slightly improved. Then if we go here, we're missing our hand pose now. So let's go sci-fi, gun 09, and we'll save the assets and we'll go into play mode. And there it is. You can see the pinky's a little bit beneath and we're kind of holding it. Haven't set anything up to fire it yet, but we'll do that in a separate tutorial. I can also test it with the left hand and the grip looks okay there too. So it seems slightly awkward, but it's at least not intersecting with the mesh. Okay, so I'll switch over to VR and we'll see how this looks. So you can see when I'm gripping the pistol, it's pretty alright. There's a tiny bit of clipping here, but it's pretty close. When I grab it with the left hand, similar deal. Got pretty close here.